Hi everyone, it's Phil here from Ashland Leather. I wanted to talk to you today about a brand new finish that Horween is doing on the shell Cordovan leather. It's called inverted shell Cordovan, and you get these crazy random dye marks and drip marks on the shell side of the leather. Inverted shell Cordovan is super confusing, and I wanted to take a quick second to explain exactly what you're seeing right here. This is the classic color number 8 shell Cordovan, and what the tannery does to apply the color and stain onto the shell side of the leather is they run it through a machine called a brush finish machine, which brushes on several stain coats of this color 8 stain on the shell side of the leather. What ends up happening is sometimes on the reverse side of the leather, we end up with random dye marks and drip marks that we really like, and it seems like a lot of our customers also appreciate. So we had the tannery intentionally create extra drip marks on the reverse side of the leather. And that's what this is here. Now, this is Epic Splatter Reverse Color 8 Shell Cordovan. This is not the shell side of the leather. And like I said, people really liked this randomized sort of Jackson Pollock vibe. So this one right here is our Traveler Passport Holder. Again, Reverse Color 8 Shell Cordovan with the Epic Splatter. You can see the Color 8 shell in the center here. If you were to flip this piece around, right in the back here, you can see the Epic Splatter happening on the back side of that. So Epic Splatter Reverse Color 8, you'll end up with drip marks that are more of that dark brown burgundy shade. So we thought it'd be a fun idea to try to make this effect happen on the shell side of the leather. And that was the impetus for inverted shell Cordovan. So here's a really great example of what I'm talking about right here. This is inverted violet shell Cordovan. And what the tannery has done here is they've finished all those dye coats on the reverse side of the leather, which would leave the unintended side, now the shell side in the center here, with all those random drip marks. So comparing apples to apples, we've got Epic Splatter Reverse Color 8. What would happen if you made this appear on the shell side of the leather? And that's what this is. This is inverted Color 8 shell Cordovan. You can see how bright and shiny this leather is, especially when compared to the reverse, which is a little bit more of like a matte finish. Inverted Color 8 is just shell Cordovan that has Epic Splatter on the shell side and not the reverse side. Today I'm doing things a little bit backwards. Usually I do a preview video for the private stock wallets that we release. I'm actually recording this after we've released them because I find the inverted Cordovan to be remarkably beautiful and sometimes hard to see in still images, but also give me a chance to explain what it is. So we've got a few different colors that are represented in today's private stock drop. The first one I wanted to show you is inverted blue shell Cordovan. And that's what you can see here. The drip marks are certainly more of a classic blue, but they trend down a little bit green and get a little bit more aqua blue at some areas. And then other areas, the dye has not touched the leather at all. So you get more of like a natural shell Cordovan and then all the colors in between. This inverted blue, we actually flipped backwards. So this is gonna be extra confusing. We've got reverse inverted blue on the exterior. And I mentioned this was the side that the tannery applied the stain to, leaving the back side of the leather with all those random drip marks. There's another inverted blue piece here. This time it's the Capone money clip. You can see our baby Ashland stamp on the inside with that gold foil and some incredible dye splatter of that inverted shell. There's another one with some great gold foil stamping. And I really love the dynamic and dramatic contrast on the inside of this inverted blue shell Bugs Moran. We've got the same sort of vibe on the exterior. I think the gold foil and the blue work really nicely together. Here's an incredible wallet. This is a Johnny the Fox, our most popular wallet style. It's traditional bifold, again in the inverted blue. So we have crazy drip marks on the exterior as well as this really nice and I think unique contrasting yellow stitch. And it's a really bright, almost like a neon yellow stitching, which I wouldn't have guessed to do myself, but the team here, we've sort of let them loose to have their creative expression fully realized, and this is what they've come up with. I'm so glad that we made the choice to let people pick whatever they wanted to do. And one last inverted blue piece to show you. There are more that are up on the website. I just wanted to show you a selection of some of my favorites. This is one of my favorite wallets that we do. And it's, I think, one of our newest models. This is the small zip wallet. We make these with the Riri zipper, which are buttery smooth and super nice to use. The inverted shell for this piece also has that neon yellow stitching. And then on the interior of this small zip, we have some black horsehide latigo. Let's move on to another color here. I showed this one earlier. This is the inverted violet. And the inverted violet is very much a straight up purple shade, especially on the exterior of this Bugs Moran. This is not the shell side of the leather. This is the reverse side of the Cordovan. And on the inverted, again, they've applied all of the stain to the reverse side of the leather, which is why we're getting a consistent purple look. You can also see, if you look closely, the Horween ink stamp in there, which is really neat. And on the interior, we've got both. So it's the reverse inverted shell on top of inverted violet shell Cordovan, and then the gold foil stamps on this one. And one more inverted violet piece. We didn't have a ton of inverted violet shell to go around and make stuff out of. This is our Capone money clip and some really, really cool inverted violet. Let me give you a look at the inside of this one. Another note about the inverted violet shell, this is not like a brand new leather from Horween. It's been around for a little bit, but because each piece is so random and so varied and unique, it's hard for us to sell it. Because if I make an inverted ultraviolet Tony the Ant, like this one here, and take a photo of it, odds are you're not gonna get that one unless I do an event like today. So we only have so much opportunity to make one of one special one-offs of unique leathers. And again, that's what today's event is about, private stock for the inverted shell Cordovan. So ultraviolet, this is inverted ultraviolet, which is a little bit less of a deep purple and a little bit more pink and magenta tones. And then it ranges down to more of those orange tan colors. On the interior of this one, we have more inverted ultraviolet. Here's a Bugs Moran that I think is remarkably beautiful. Love the way that the color ranges from those tan shades to a little bit more magenta and red. And it's the same thing on the outside of this, a little bit less dramatic. And one of the bigger pieces, which I think all the random texture and patterning are more fully realized. When you have a large pattern piece, you can see more context of all that splatter. So this is our traveler passport holder. It's kind of like the Fat Herbie, except we make it a little bit taller to more easily accommodate a passport on the inside large slot here. You can put credit cards on the inside left. But what's cool about the traveler passport holder is this bill slot. So if you're traveling, of course, with your passport, this will hold all the world's paper currency in it. And a fan favorite wallet here, this is our vertical Bugs Moran in the inverted ultraviolet shell Cordovan. This one has a crazy piece of leather for the outside. Really dramatic effect here. A little bit of a lighter tone on the ultraviolet on the exterior of this vertical Bugs, and a little bit darker and more red magenta on the inside. And one last inverted ultraviolet to show you. This is our Capone money clip. We thought it would be a good idea to add some gold hardware to a lot of the money clips in this drop. So we've got a gold spring bar money clip on the inside of this one. And one last color to show you, we've got inverted black shell Cordovan. So this Capone money clip is in the inverted black. What's interesting about the inverted black as opposed to the reverse black Cordovan is it doesn't have as much of that green, sort of olive green, sometimes more forest green color that the reverse normally has. This is more straight up black with like ultra dark green to it. So I wanted to give you a quick demo of this one because I love the range of color, especially when it's a little bit more dramatic, more of those tan shades next to the green that I think really make the inverted black shine. On this Capone money clip, we have an antique brass spring bar money clip. Another piece here to show you, sort of speaking out of both sides of my mouth, I guess. This is reverse inverted black for the card holders of this Bugs brand. You can see more of that green I'm talking about, but it's a different green than we see normally on the reverse black Cordovan. I thought I'd make that distinction. I think that green looks great with the gold foil stamps. And on the exterior, more of the inverted black shell Cordovan. I love the dramatic contrast from light to dark. And we have a small zip in the inverted black as well. This one sort of reminds me of army fatigues or something like that, like camo print, which is really, really cool. Something about the inverted black makes me feel that way. Same thing on this small zip. We've got the buttery smooth Riri zipper and then the black horsehide latigo on the interior. And the last wallet I wanted to show you, also an inverted black shell Cordovan, is Giant Fox. And we've got that really great contrast from light to dark, little bits of green in between. I just think it's beautiful. And then we've contrasted the stitching on this one in a little bit more of like a rust brown thread color to play off some of the lighter tan shades in the inverted black color. And then the interior, these are really special for us. People don't, I don't know how you could know this, but it's really difficult to find naturally thin pieces of Cordovan for the interior of this Giant Fox wallet. And the reason that we need thin pieces of leather is because there's so many layers of leather for all the card holders on the inside of the Giant Fox. If we use a normal thickness, roughly like 4 ounces thick, 1.6 millimeters, that really bulks up the thickness very quickly because we have 6 card slots with the 2 hidden card slots on the inside as well as the bill slot. All those layers of leather add up very fast. So you end up with like a brick in your pocket, which I personally don't like, so we don't make them. We will make them by request, but I don't recommend it. I recommend using a thinner leather for the inside of a traditional bifold like this. And not all shell Cordovan is the same thickness. In fact, even in one shell itself, you'll notice a range of thickness from thick to thin, and even from shell to shell, they're wildly different. So we have to be a little bit extra patient in selecting the right pieces of leather for the inside of the Johnny the Fox. And then on a brand new color like this, a rare color of shell, it's extra special for us to be able to make a Johnny the Fox out of shell Cordovan. So hopefully you enjoy the inverted shell Cordovan as much as I do. Honestly, it's hard for me to pick a favorite, but there's something about the inverted violet that really draws me in, especially on the reverse side where it's like a very straight purple shade. Really curious to see what you guys think about this new leather look and finish on the shell Cordovan. It's sort of taking this classic leather that has been made for over 100 years here in Chicago and trying something new with it, but something that's also beautiful, just in like a little bit more of a modern, funky way. So I like this idea of taking that classic leather tannage and applying a different, more modern vibe to it. So let me know what you think. Which one of these is your favorite? Until next time, I hope you guys have a good one and take care.